Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we're reacting to how good or bad was Michael Jordan's three-point shooting. This is actually one of Michael Jordan's most pooped upon skills. Excuse my French. But yeah, dude, Johnny Arnett, I've checked out a couple of his videos. He's really good. So yeah, man, I figured we'd check this one out. If y'all are new here, I've been doing my first ever deep dive into Michael Jordan's career. I started watching ball in 2010. Never did my due diligence as a kid to go back. So now that I'm a grown man, I'm checking out Michael Jordan's career, Larry Bird's career, Magic Johnson, all the legends of the past. So we're going to check this one out. I've learned a lot about Jordan. I learned a lot about why he's the GOAT, why he's the most skilled player of all time, why he's the best defender of all time, offensive player of all time, blah, 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 blah. But one thing that keeps coming up is that Michael Jordan was not a great three-point shooter. And that's a good argument people use current day, like my generation, to downplay his career. So we're going to check out this video that takes a deeper dive into that. And hopefully we can disprove it, man, because to me, it was just about the era. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like he could have been a great three-point shooter if need be. Let's check it out. Okay, Kobe. This video ain't about you. Oh, is this an intro? It's a cool intro, I guess, Johnny. We'll skip it a little bit, though, because...
If I said that Michael Jeffrey Jordan was a player without weakness, what would your reaction be? A lot of people do believe that Michael Jordan was well-versed in just about every aspect of basketball. But then there are others that do believe he has one significant weakness, and they will harp on this detail over and over again whenever they're making comparisons.
My attitude is that you push me towards something that you think is a weakness, and I will turn that perceived weakness into a strength. Michael Jordan. Good quote.
To their favorite players. Allegedly, Michael Jordan was a terrible three-point shooter. It makes sense why some fans say this. For his career from three-point range, Michael Jordan shot a career average of 32.7%, and Kobe Bryant shot a career average of 32.9%.
I will say, if he was below 30, I could hear this out. But this isn't a, if you're above 30 in an era where this wasn't really prioritized.
And LeBron James currently has a career average of 34.8%. You also have to consider the fact that MJ's career average really should be a little bit lower, because from 1994 to the end of the 96 to 97 season, the NBA actually shortened the three-point line from 23 feet 9 inches to 22 feet. And understandably, league averages from three-point distance went up, and a guy like Michael Jordan had some of his best three-point shooting seasons during that time.
Wow. I did not know about that. What? After 15 seasons, the three-point line was shortened to a uniform distance around the basket, lasting... Oh my gosh. I didn't know that.
To 22 feet. And understandably, league averages from three-point distance went up, and a guy like Michael Jordan had some of his best three-point shooting seasons during that time. I can only imagine how much guys like Carmelo Anthony or Kobe Bryant would have benefited from that shorter three-point line, since they were guys who excelled at long two-point shots.
Dang, so you're telling me he's worse than the numbers say.
Regardless, it's not like the gap between MJ, Kobe, and LeBron is all that significant from three-point range.
Nah.
But the fact remains, in the regular season, they do have a better career three-point shooting percentage.
I think the big difference is the volume, right?
Thing is, I think this aspect of three-point shooting and Michael Jordan is a bit more layered and complicated than some people realize. A lot of Michael Jordan fans like to bring up the 1992 NBA Finals. And in this series, Michael Jordan famously set the NBA Finals record for most three-pointers made in a half, and tied the NBA record for the most three-pointers made in a game. This was stunning at the time, but I think what's really crucial is understanding the context leading into that series. Prior to Game 1, Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler were constantly receiving comparisons, as the media was really pushing these guys as rivals. Before the first game started, there was an interview with Clyde Drexler, and he had this to say: "But all things equal, we don't mind him shooting threes. We really don't. I give Michael a lot of credit, but I don't know if he can match my three-point skill."
Why would you say that, dude?
And then, still prior to Game 1, Michael Jordan responded to Clyde Drexler's comments by saying, "Clyde is a better three-point shooter than I choose to be." Clearly, it sounded like MJ took it personally. And obviously, what ensued was that record-setting three-point performance, as he showed Clyde and the rest of the world what he was capable of as a three-point shooter.
That's awesome.
Now, some Michael Jordan critics will point out the fact that MJ was pretty open on most of these three-point shots. And to that I say, well, duh. The Blazers literally said that they didn't think highly of Michael Jordan's three-point shooting heading into that game. They were daring him to take those shots, and that's why they started defending him just a little bit more on his latter shots. But then MJ critics will say you can't just call him a great three-point shooter based on one playoff series. And to that I say, you're absolutely correct. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the details.
Let's dig.
Now, first off, let me point out the fact that Michael Jordan was objectively a terrible three-point shooter in his first 4 seasons in the league. In his rookie season, he only shot 17% from that distance. In his second season, he also shot 17%. His third season was 18%, and his fourth season was 13%.
The fact that he started off at 16% shooting for his first 4 seasons and managed to double that by the end of his career.
Now, to be fair, MJ was shooting less than 1 3-point attempt per game in his first 4 seasons. So it's not like he was Charles Barkley out there, who was among the league leaders in 3-point attempts while being objectively terrible. Michael Jordan knew what his skills and what his greatest strengths were. And for the most part, that's why he avoided the 3-point line. But still, even with the lack of volume, there's no ignoring the fact that MJ was without a doubt a horrible 3-point shooter early in his career. The thing is, that wasn't really uncommon during that era in the NBA, as the 3-point shot was relatively new to the league and wasn't a major point of emphasis during that time. When Michael Jordan first entered the league in the 1984 to 1985 season, the average team was only attempting a grand total of 3.1 attempts per game. To put that in perspective, modern NBA teams are shooting well over 10 times that amount.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize how low that was back then.
Out of 3-point attempts per game. So again, when MJ entered the league, the average amount of attempts per team was 3.1. And when he finally retired from the NBA at the end of the 2002 to 2003 season, that average had climbed to 14.7 per game. It goes without saying that the league was adapting to the 3-point shot at the time that MJ entered the league. And the same is true about the best players within the game, as they were also learning that shot and slowly adapting it to their game. For goodness sake, even Larry Bird had a 4-year stretch early in his career where he shot only 26% from 3-point distance, and he's widely considered as one of the greatest 3-point shooters of all time.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So yes, Michael Jordan did take a little while to figure out his 3-point shot, but once he did, everything changed. Over a 10-season stretch, from the 1988 to 89 season to the 1997 to 98 season, Michael Jordan had a 3-point shooting percentage that was actually better than the league average, as he shot 35.4% from that distance, compared to the league average that was 34.1%. To say that MJ was a bad 3-point shooter after 1988 would be objectively incorrect, because he was quite literally better than most of the 3-point shooters within the league. But here's the craziest part about Michael Jordan's 3-point shooting. Whenever anybody uses this criticism against MJ, they're always focusing purely on the regular season numbers. And as per usual with Jordan, he was much better in the playoffs and even better in the NBA Finals.
Tell me.
For his career, he shot 32.7% in the regular season. And in his playoff career, he shot 33.2%. And in the NBA Finals specifically, he shot 36.8%.
Wow.
Now, some people will point out that some of those final series actually had the shorter 3-point line. If you count only the times where the 3-point line was at its full distance, then MJ was even better at 40.9%. Kobe Bryant in the NBA Finals was a career 31.4%. LeBron James was a career 35.2%, and Kyrie Irving was a career 36.2% in the NBA Finals. Now let me know, did you guys grasp that? Everybody focuses on the regular season, but MJ was better when the games mattered the most. He was better than guys like Kobe, LeBron, and Kyrie Irving on the game's biggest stage by a mile. Yet for some reason, MJ's critics choose to ignore this fact. Now, am I trying to make the point that Michael Jordan was a great or even an elite 3-point shooter? No, I'm not. I'm simply trying to make the point that you probably couldn't call this a weakness. This aspect of Michael Jordan's game is way too scrutinized, and when you understand the full scope and the full context of his NBA career, he was actually a pretty solid 3-point shooter. But here's the most important part. Michael Jordan didn't care about all of this nearly as much as me and you. Because in an interview after his record-setting NBA Finals game in 1992, he had this to say about his 3-point shooting. Take a listen.
My three-point shooting is something that I don't want to excel at because it takes away from all phases of my game. My game is a fake drive to the hole, penetrate, dish off, dunk or whatever. And when you have that mentality, as I found out in the first game, of making threes, you don't go to the hole as much. You go to the three-point line and you start sitting there waiting for someone to find you. And that's not my mentality. And I don't want to create that because it takes away from my other parts of my game.
Now that you've heard Jordan's thoughts, ask yourself.
That makes sense too, because the defender's not going to know what he's going to do if he's in the mid-range. He could shoot from the mid-range, he could dunk, he could lay it up, all that. If he's just at the three-point line, the defender knows his whole move, like his whole play set at that point.
Do you or I know the game of basketball better than the guy who most people think is the greatest player of all time? MJ didn't think it was an important and crucial aspect to his game. And he seemed to be right, as the results paid off as he won 6 championships in the span of 8 seasons. The problem is that modern NBA fans look at this highly inflated 3-point shooting era and compare the standards of the modern league to Michael Jordan, who played 30 years ago. Obviously, that's not fair, because when Michael Jordan was playing, he wasn't worried about competing with guys 30 years into the future. He was worried about beating the guys in front of him, like Magic Johnson, Clyde Drexler, Charles Barkley, Gary Payton, and Karl Malone. Basketball fans from both sides do this all the time. Because yes, this modern NBA era isn't nearly as physical, but today's NBA players can only compete against the guys in front of them. Would they have survived in the 1980s or the 1990s when the game was way more physical? Who knows? But the reality is they can't compete against those guys. Not until time traveling becomes an actual thing. You can only play the guys in front of you. And Michael Jordan excelled with his style in his specific era. And really, that should be all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? With all the information now in front of you, would you say that Michael Jordan is a bad, decent, or a great 3-point shooter? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Big shout out to Johnny there. Honestly, to answer his question, I would say he was decent. I wouldn't go bad, I wouldn't go weakness. I wouldn't use this as a reason to shoot down his game, because he explained it clearly while he was playing in that era. It's not like he's going back and trying to revise history. He said it back then. This takes away from so many parts of my game. Why prioritize it? I can choose to be better. I can choose to practice it. There's just no need to. I do think the fact that the three-point line was closer for a portion of his seasons is important, though, to recognize, because that 32% very well could have been 31, 30, 29% because of the shift of the three-point line. But either way, dude, I don't think you can hold this against him. I know a lot of people like to do that and try to make that argument. I'm not one of those people, so let me know what y'all think about this. I think this did a great job of explaining his three-point game, and the fact that he went from 16% shooter in his first 4 years up to 32, I think that just shows you how much growth there was in that area. Even if he didn't prioritize it, like, he still grew in it, and was able to utilize the skill set whenever he needed to, like in the finals against Clyde Drexler. So let me know what y'all think. I hope y'all have a great day, night, whatever time of day it is for you, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Doses!